So I want to get something straight. To all the talking heads who say preseason doesn't matter, or they say, well, LeBron and Luka didn't play in preseason, right? And they dismiss all these games. To all the talking heads saying that, I'm talking to you, Trevor Lane. I'm talking to the Kamenetsky brother. I'm talking to a bunch of you guys. Stop lying to people. The preseason matters to this particular Laker team. It didn't. I'm a child of the 80s. Okay, I grew up on the Showtime Lakers. Preseason did not matter to the Showtime Lakers, and in a sense, it did, because the Lakers played in preseason as long as they were out of tune, as long as it took them to get back into the schemes, back into the style of play that carried them to the championship 8 out of 13 years that Magic played. I'm sorry, the finals. 8 out of 13 years that Magic played. As long as they were in that mode, they didn't need to play. It meant nothing to them. The preseason meant nothing to the Jordan Chicago Bulls. It meant very little or nothing to Tim Duncan's San Antonio Spurs. You better believe the preseason means something to this particular team. You got Luka Doncic and you got a LeBron James that's still very good. In my opinion, you have an 18-12 potential, 18-12 center in DeAndre Ayton. If you're striving for a championship, you need to take advantage of every opportunity you have to get better. Every opportunity you have to be ready for the regular season, you need to take advantage of it. Because when the season starts and you start to see the lack of continuity that you see in preseason games with the Lakers right now, and you start to see that carry over into the regular season, and then you lose 1, 2, 3 games that you maybe should have won. What happens last year if the Lakers lose 2, 3 more games? Where do they go in the rankings, right? All of a sudden, you go from a 3 seed to a play-in. And the Lakers are too complacent about what they need to do and when they need to do it. There is a general lack of urgency within this organization from the top down, from Rob Pelinka down to the 15th man on the roster. You know, you can't show players that kind of lack of urgency. So, it's just preseason, right? None of this counts as far as our record goes. That's a fact. None of what happens in preseason counts for what the Lakers' record is during the regular season. That's a fact. But what's the truth? The truth is, if you can't get yourself right during preseason, if you don't have the habits during preseason, it's a decent shot that carries into the regular season. You know, I was listening to Trevor Lane, respect to Trevor Lane in Lakers Nation. Respect to Trevor Lane and Lakers Nation. I was listening to Trevor Lane and he says, oh wow, the Lakers have actually articulated the importance of offensive rebounds in today's NBA. What kind of stupid ass statement is that? Yo, offensive rebounds have always been important in the NBA. What you mean in today's NBA? You're not saying anything, man. And the fact that you as a, I guess like one of the main commentators as far as independent media go, quote unquote independent media, because I've heard you spout lines coming from the front office. I've heard you with some knowledge that maybe you shouldn't have known if you're 100% independent. My point is that when you hear maybe the biggest name in Laker independent media say something of that nature, yo, he's dumbing you down. He is dumbing you down. Today's era basketball is not exceptional. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to the same shit as it did in the 80s. Right? Now, I ain't going to say it's going to come down to the same stuff as it is in the 60s. I believe that, let's just face it, the 60s were too white. It was too white for a reason, because people wouldn't watch the game if it was so black. Right? So it's a different era. But, you know, it's nowadays game was going to come back to the same shit in the 80s, man. So this notion that the Lakers just figured out offensive rebounds are important, what are you talking about? If you need to acknowledge that, or you're happy the team acknowledged that, you should be scared shitless that the team didn't know it before. Not that they're acknowledging it now. You don't get credit for acknowledging that's understood. Anyway, look, so what I'm trying to articulate here is I watched some other preseason teams that have been together way longer than the Lakers have, right? Lakers got some guys who have been around, but when you add a guy like Luka, you better make sure your team continuity is right before game 1 of the regular season starts in the Western Conference. Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a dogfight from game 1 to game 82. And if the Lakers walk into the regular season and they don't have their shit right, that's on the players, and it's going to be on JJ Redick. Look, if guys are injured, right? LeBron's, 60 years old or whatever. I get it. To a certain degree, I get it. But this shit where Luka is sitting out, it's a bigger problem than y'all think. Because, see, this is how you approach the season. This is what you find value in. If you think you could just roll the ball out, right, and all of a sudden incorporate a player with the on-court huge persona of Luka, and incorporate a player with the huge persona of LeBron, and you think it's just, let's go, right? It's going to work. You're wrong. You are wrong. And I'm afraid that's what the Lakers, that's the Lakers' approach to the season. See, I believe the Lakers have a roster that could go to the NBA Finals and win. I do. I believe they have that roster, but I don't think that they have the character on the team to accomplish that. Man, when you play in LA, it ain't like playing in Detroit. In Detroit, you're going to adopt the character of Detroit. In New York, you're adopting the character of New York. In Miami, because of Pat Riley, you adopt the character of Pat Riley. Not necessarily Miami, of Pat Riley. When you're in Los Angeles, you adopt the character of California, Southern California. And Southern California is not Gary, Indiana. It is not Detroit, Michigan. And the Lakers need to get in that mode and understand the wrath that's on its way. Because I watched Victor Wembanyama play. He's more injury prone than anybody I've ever seen in the NBA in a long time. You tell me he's 7'4", 7'5", and does what he does? Oh man, he's an injury waiting to happen. I saw him play. I saw Steph Curry play. I saw I saw Oklahoma City play damn near everybody in a game. And you got the Lakers who incorporated this. And this is also, get this straight. The Lakers last year, when they were the 3 seed in the West, they got swept. And they got swept because they don't know who they are. If the Lakers knew who they were, I'm sorry, they didn't get swept. They lost 4-1. But if the Lakers knew who they were, they don't lose the way they lost to Minnesota. But they don't know who they are yet. And that was a problem. And the right defense and the right team came along and punked us in the first round. 4-1. It's not like it was close. 4-1. All I'm saying is value every opportunity you have to get your team better. If you could get Luka and DeAndre Ayton on the court at the same time and get them to gel, your team is in a better place on game 1 than if Luka didn't play. If you could get Austin Reeves and Luka to figure out how to play off each other a little better in the backcourt, your team is better off on game 1 than if they didn't play together. And I'm telling you, when we lose those games that maybe we should have won, or games that we definitely should have won, and you could just look and tell, yo man, this is a chemistry issue. Well, you had an opportunity and you didn't see the value in that opportunity, right? So anyway, that's what I see. You hear I'm not talking so much about on-court. I'll make a video about on-court. But this is what I see right now, and this is what I think the Lakers need to address. All right, y'all, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. I'll hit you next time.